So it's John S. Sports Channel with predictions for week 41, believe it, of League One. We're going to go straight in with Reading versus Wycombe Wanderers, if I can say it right. Reading in 7th position, trying to get that 1 point to catch Bolton now in 6th. And that bottom position keeps swapping around, doesn't it? There's 63 points for Bolton, 71 for Stockport in 5th, though. So we're realistically looking at that last position for the playoffs and who's going to be in it. And Reading have their eye on it. They can play well. With all the antics off field, they are absolutely rocking it on field. Doesn't seem to be making any difference to them. Good play to them. They're really doing well. For what's happening off field, totally different from last season. They seem to have reacted completely the opposite way this season, and they're attacking it as if to say, look, we can play football on pitch without the things off field making any difference. Wycombe Wanderers in 3rd on 75 points. Now they're 3 points behind Wrexham with a slightly better goal difference, but they've got a game in hand. Now, they're wanting to keep up at least with Wrexham so that they can sneak in that extra point, that extra win to get into that automatic position. So both of these teams want the win. Now, if you look at the past 6 games, it becomes a little bit more even because you've got Reading on draw, win, lose against Blackpool 3-0. And I thought that might be a bit more even than that, I must admit. And then you've got Wycombe with win, draw, lose, win, draw. It's a mixture, isn't it? Okay, the defeat was 1-0 against Wrexham, so we can sort of let them have that. It was quite a close game, but they came away with 0 points from a 1-0 defeat, and it was at home as well. So I'm sort of on the fence here. Both teams have lost 1 in their last 6 games. And both teams are really doing quite well. But I've just got a feeling that these two teams are not going to want to lose against each other. One thing they don't want to do is lose where they are. Wycombe don't want to lose because they're going to lose too many points against that good Wrexham team above them. And Reading don't want to lose because they're in 7th and playoff zone is in 6th and they're wanting to keep up with that. So I'm fearing a very dull game where they just don't want to lose and they just keep pushing forward the occasional push to try and get a goal and then pull back to try and defend. Will they both try on the break tactics? Could be a bit dangerous here. I think I'm gonna have to go with a 1-0, and it's very, very difficult here. But I'm gonna go with a strange one. I'm gonna go against what a lot of you are thinking. I'm gonna go Reading 1, Wycombe 0. I think that Reading may just nick this one. Wrexham versus Burton Albion next. So we must be looking at a one-way game. But I've said this so many times in the last few games, and it's been a stalemate or even a defeat for the team I thought was going to walk it. Wrexham in 2nd, and they do tend to draw very few games, so that's really important to think about here. Burton are in 21st. They do draw quite a few more than the teams around them as well. So that's the other thing. But Burton drawing more percentage of games doesn't really toe the line for the home side. The home side being Wrexham. Wrexham win, lose, win, draw 2-2 against Cambridge. That was a brilliant Cambridge fight there, wasn't it? It's really good to watch. Just amazing game. Wrexham go in the lead and then Cambridge equalise and then Cambridge go in the lead and then Wrexham equalise. It was absolutely manic. But, I think that it was a good game and both teams played well. That's the important thing. I don't think it was one-sided, which from the play itself, forget the statistics. I think watching the game, I think that Cambridge did show themselves to be a good side for where they are. Burton versus Leyton Orient. Burton 2, Leyton Orient 1. And that again, that was Burton coming back to win that game against a very good Leyton Orient side, remember. So, I mean, if we do want to do a quick look at the stats, obviously we're looking at the Wrexham team here against Cambridge. Actually, it was quite even. Cambridge had 13 shots on at goal. Wrexham had 11. The stats were pretty much even. So, yeah, it was an even game. I just wanted to check that in case somebody started saying, the stats show it was different. No, it was an even game, even with the stats. And that's why I had to have a look at it, because it's shocking that Cambridge did manage to, at home, to hold off Wrexham. And, they probably had just as much chance of winning it. In fact, they were in the lead at 2-1, weren't they? As anyone else. So they did really good. Burton Albion, draw, lose, win. But you've got to think that last win, 2-1 against an Orient side that was really good. And you have to think there's something in this side that can turn games. Burton Albion, 40% possession, 19 shots, 6 on target, 2 in the net. Orient, 12 on target, 12 shots, 6 on target. So they were against a side that were really clinical with their precision on attacking, and not quite as good as Orient, but they still managed to win 2-1. So that does give you an idea of how good their defence was and how much it was sort of pushing the Orient back just to make sure they didn't get a clear on-target shot. So this is going to be a little bit closer than what we think. I think this could be a draw. This could be a 1-1 draw. I don't think it will. I think Wrexham, after that 2-2 draw against Cambridge, will be making darn sure that they don't lose any more points too quickly, because they're now 3 points ahead of Wycombe Wanderers, and they have one game in hand, Wycombe, so it's getting close. So they're not going to want to lose this one. I think they will win. I think they'll win by a reasonable amount. I think it's going to be Wrexham 2, and I'm going to go for Burton 1. I just think Burton have been playing well enough to be able to get a goal here. Probably beating over that midfield 5 and catching them out that way. Birmingham versus Barnsley. Welcome, Birmingham fans. I do hope you stay on. Does help the channel. Please do like and subscribe. Birmingham obviously in first position. They're going to finish in first. It's going to... How many? Please do comment down below. Tell me how many you think they're going to finish ahead of everyone else. I've actually got them at about 115 points. I don't think they're going to lose many points towards the end of the season. I really don't. Barnsley are in 11th. Now, Barnsley used to be in that top zone, in that top 6, didn't they? But they played some really ropey football. And now they're on 54 points in 11th. Realistically, they can't get back into that into the playoff zone, and they'll be bitterly disappointed about that losing run, won't they? They are looking at Paul Warne as a possible replacement. However, Rotherham took on Paul Warne's 2 assistants for their management squad till the end of the season. And some people are saying Paul Warne's coming back. Personally, I want to remember Paul Warne as what he was, which was a damn good manager, and he left with us right in that top half, doing really well in the Championship. I want to remember him for how well he did. I don't want to remember him coming back and making a flop. So I'd rather remember him as he was. But we'll see what happens, won't we? So Birmingham versus Barnsley, because that's what we're talking about. Birmingham, lose, win, draw, win. The draw was against Northampton. What a game, 1-1. And Northampton weren't going to let that one go, were they? We're going to park the bus and we're going to make sure damn well that if they're going to shoot, they're going to shoot from bloody far out, and they ain't going to get a close sight on goal. The defeat was 6 games ago, Bolton 3-1. Totally flummoxed me, and I must admit the Bolton commenter there, absolutely right. They did attack from the off. Well, from about 15 minutes in, when they realised that actually they could be taken on the break. and if you build from the back. And Bolton's building from the back worked, and I think a lot of people now are sort of looking and thinking, perhaps we can do this. We can park the bus and we can try and build our way around the side and try and build our way slowly forward and try and get back at Birmingham that way. But you have to be really good at building from the back, don't you? And Bolton were. They are going to win. I think they're going to win this one. If you look at Barnsley, lose, draw, lose. Last time out, lost 2-1 to Exeter at home. Birmingham 2-1 winners at Bristol Rovers. I actually thought Bristol Rovers had a chance there of getting back for a draw, but it didn't quite come to fruition. I think that it's going to be a reasonable win, looking at how they're starting to score one or two more goals now, I think, Birmingham. And I think that they're able now, with all these injuries around the League One and all the fatigue, they're actually managing to be able to earmark people for certain positions should anyone not be able to play that position, because they're starting to be able to interchange people now. You get there's extra skills coming in there. I've seen a few people, they players they wouldn't expect to be good in that, and they're starting to be able to put them out of position and play really well. And that's something that one of my Birmingham fans subscribers said, and I think it's right. They are starting to get a little bit of a depth now from different areas. So I think this Birmingham side is really interesting, and I think I'm going to have to go with Birmingham 3, Barnsley 0. I'm sorry, Barnsley fans, I really am, but I just can't see you getting past it. Bolton versus Bristol Rovers. Please just stay on, Birmingham fans. Bolton versus Bristol Rovers. I hope you do. It's good fun to even to listen to me rabble on. It's Bolton in 6th position, wanting definitely to keep hold of this 6th position, aren't they? 1 point ahead of Reading, against Bristol Rovers, who are down in 20th. And Bristol Rovers now, they're just 3 points ahead of Burton Albion and 6 points ahead of Crawley. They've played one game more though, so this could be quite critical. If Burton were to win that game in hand, they would be ahead of Bristol Rovers, because Bristol Rovers have a goal difference of -24. Burton have a goal difference of -15. So that's quite a decent difference, isn't it? -9 goal differences. So what do we see from this game? We see two teams that are actually going into this rather fatigued. I actually think that Bolton look a little bit ragged over the last few games, and I would say fatigued. I think that they don't look any less skillful. They just seem to not quite have the energy levels that they had when they were doing really, really well. Bolton Wanderers win, lose, win. Last time out, importantly, 1-0 win away at Wigan. Now, Wigan have been sort of gently getting back to good form, but this side can score goals, and when it wins, it quite often scores. It's quite often not just 1-0. So I think that this is sort of a little bit of a show back to this fatigue that I think has been in there. Please, Bolton Wanderers fans, what do you think? Do you think that team looks just a little bit jaded at the minute? I think that they have the edge though. If you look at Bristol Rovers, win, lose. Last time, okay, that was against Birmingham, 2-1. I think that we're going to see an interesting game here because Bolton just have the edge for me. They have that ability, even if they do look slightly fatigued. For me, I think that this Bristol Rovers team is almost on a downer from several weeks back, and the 2 wins in the last 6 were great wins. 1-0 win at home to Huddersfield. Yeah, but Huddersfield have been sort of jaded a little bit themselves and they've only just started to pick up a little bit of form. And Bolton Wanderers 3-2 win. I saw that one on our watch along. Brilliant 3-2 win, and I really did think that it was going to be 3-3. But yeah, it was really good. And I can honestly say I think Bristol, that Bristol Bolton game back in March the 11th was really, really good. Will it get the same sort of scoreline? I think this could quite easily be the same score. It could even be 3-3. Will it be 3-3? No, I'm going to go with Bolton 3, Bristol Rovers 1. But you watch out for 3-3 because I really can't. I'm hoping for a really good game. I think that Bolton will be getting back to fitness now. I think we've had a little bit of a period between where they started to look a bit fatigued, and hopefully they've managed to rotate a little bit and get some players in there that can take some of the pressure off, and we'll get a decent game. Charlton versus Lincoln City next. Charlton in 4th. Haven't they done really well to get up there? They were sort of mid-table obscurity. Having started playing really technical football right at the beginning, brilliant football, and then suddenly started to wane in the middle. A big portion of that, what they've had here, right in the middle of what they've been playing so far, has been average football, which is mid-table obscurity, which where they were. And then all of a sudden, that technical football, I said, it's coming back, and it has. Charlton in 4th with 72 points. Realistically now, I think they're almost certainly going to be in that top 6, and they're playing a Lincoln City in 12th on 53 points. Realistically, they're on the beach, and they're playing a side that really need just that 3 points, I think, and they're going to be thinking, we're in here, we're okay. And we can start to rotate as players to make sure we've got a fit 12 for a fit team for the final push in the playoffs. Charlton draw, win, lose, win. The defeat was against Peterborough last time out. Mansfield 2-1 winners, and Mansfield actually started to play really well. I actually thought Mansfield might nick that one, and they didn't. They lost. Stockport County draw 0-0 6 games ago. I think that Charlton are playing really well. They're showing that they're quite resilient. 4-0 winners against Huddersfield. Could have been a lot more than that, couldn't it? Lincoln City win, lose, win, draw, lose, win. The two losses: Wycombe Wanderers 1-0 and Birmingham 1-0, both away from home. We can't really take that away from them, can we? Other than that, the only other team they've lost points against was 0-0 against Exeter at home. They don't seem to be doing very well at home. But no, 4-1 winners at home against Crawley. Let's just put that one right before people tell me off. It's a Lincoln City side that's getting better. That's what I'm saying. It's getting better. It was hopelessly poor for about a month and a half. It's been quite poor. And then all of a sudden, in the last few weeks, they've started to play decent football. They've gone from that top 6... target and really on for it, down to a sort of obscurity, and now they're on the beach. They'll be bitterly disappointed. Will they want to do well for the last few games? Of course they will, but they're hitting a Charlton side that just want to get to their own version of on the beach before they go into the playoffs. I can't see them getting away with this, but I think they'll make a damn good fight of it, Lincoln City. I think Lincoln are likely to put up a good defence. They have got an extremely good defence there. If I look at the last 6 games, 1 goal let in there. 1 goal let in there. What's 3 goals let in 6 games? That is pretty damn good for a team on the beach. I can't see Charlton getting many goals. They can get goals, and they certainly can get goals against teams in that area of the league, but not this one. I think that this time they're going to find it a little bit tough, and Charlton are brilliant at home, absolutely staunch defence at home. This could be won by 1 goal. I'm actually going to go with Charlton 1, Lincoln 0. I just think it's going to be a 1-goaler. Could be either way, guys. So do keep an eye on that. This could be a shock. If any of the shocks come, it would be in that game, I think. Exeter versus Stockport next, and Exeter are in 16th. They've been rising and dropping in that middle bit from the bottom of the middle section to top of the middle section, and they're now sort of, they need a win really just to make sure they're on the beach, and I think they'd be happy with that. Stockport County in 5th. They're 8 points ahead of Bolton in 6th. And again, they're the same, but they're the opposite way around. They want to get a win to be pretty safe, along with Charlton, that they'd be thinking, we should be able to keep ahead of the teams behind us now, and the top 5 will be the top 5. So they're both wanting to get something out of this game for different reasons. And that's going to be important, because if you look at the stats, Exeter win, draw, lose, win. The loss was against Wrexham 2-0 at home, so I'm not going to hold that against them. However, they did draw 1-1 away at Rotherham, and we were both dire on that day. So they didn't play very well at all there. So I'm just a little bit worried that they're getting points against the run of play, because they certainly did at Rotherham. They were both poor, and perhaps they both should have got 0 points. Stockport County, draw, win, lose, win. It seems to be up and down there. But Wrexham, again, that was the defeat, 1-0. So you can take the one defeat out of both of these sides because they're both Wrexham. But then you're looking at the two sides that are very, very similar. And it's like... It's like I said with Lincoln the other week. You've got an Exeter side with some good stats in here when it's put against Stockport County, and they're completely different areas of the league. So it could go either way. I think this will be something like a 2-1 win, but I think it could be either way. And I really, really am on the fence here. Both teams have had 3 wins. Both teams have had one defeat. Both teams have had 2 draws. There doesn't seem to be any difference in play in the last game. Exeter 2-1 winners away at Barnsley. Really good win there, guys. And Stockport County 3-0 win at Stevenage. And I really didn't think that Stevenage would roll over quite as easily as that, but I think it was relatively easy. A win for them. I'm going to go with Stockport. And my heart tells me Exeter. My head tells me Stockport. Let's go with my head. I'm going to go with Exeter 1, Stockport 2. And I really am torn between the two. Tell me what you think, Exeter fans and Stockport fans. What do you think it's going to be? Like and subscribe as we go into Huddersfield, Mansfield now. We've got a good old pair of sides here, quite close to each other. What we got? Huddersfield. Yeah, we'll go for the table first. Huddersfield in 8th position now, and realistically, they have to win this one. 61 points. Bolton 2 places ahead in 6th on 63. They've got to keep up with Bolton. They really do have to keep up with them. Mansfield on the beach now, 17th, 47 points. Realistically, they need one more win. And I know from my friend Roy, who's probably going to be listening to this, I think that they're going to be wanting that extra win. That one win is going to be something that they really just want to get to 50 points. And let's just write that bad period off, losing Lee Gregory for so long. Really did upset the apple cart, didn't it? They've only recently started to get players who can put the ball in the net. So let's have a look. Huddersfield win, lose, win, lose. Yeah, they've not been playing very well. But in the middle of that, you've got a 2-1 win away at Stevenage and a 5-1 win at home to Crawley, and I fear that could have been a lot more. And Crawley had been playing well at that point as well, so we're really, really surprised with that result. But then they went to Charlton, and it was 4-0 away defeat, and it should have been a lot more of a defeat. So this side really, at home, they've not been scoring very well. In fact, I think when they got rid of their manager, one of the Huddersfield supporters texted me to say, we've not scored a goal since the beginning of the year. So yeah, that's how bad they've been at home. And against a Mansfield side, draw, lose, win, lose against Charlton, but Charlton are doing really well. That can cause an upset, and they started to be able to put the ball on target and in the net occasionally. So that pretty football seems to have turned into a little bit more of an attacking football. No, I went with Mansfield against Charlton, and I said they were going to win. They didn't. They lost. I'm going to stick with them. Roy. I really am. I'm going to go with Huddersfield 1, Mansfield 2. I just think that home bug of Huddersfield is going to continue to bite them in the arse. And you've got to remember, they were right up there in the middle of the top 6, Huddersfield, and they've dropped down out of it now. They're wanting to go back into it, but they're going to have to improve those figures, aren't they? Orient versus Wigan now, and last time out we got Orient played Burton, came away with a 2-1 defeat, and go back into it. And Wigan played Bolton. Wigan lost. Ryan Lowe actually got sent off on 90 plus 5 minutes, and just after Bolton had took the lead on 90 plus 2. I think that will be a really big loss for Wigan. This could be quite critical, and if we look at Orient, lose, win, lose. Lost against Burton, surprisingly, and I think that shows that Burton are actually trying to just improve just enough to stay out of the bottom 4. But so are the teams below them, and Burton actually played a pretty good game there, from what I heard on the radio. Wigan Athletic, lose, draw, win, lose, draw, lose. They do seem to be losing a few that we thought they might have a chance of at least performing a bit better in. Okay, lost 1-0 last time out against Bolton, but Bolton are a really good side. And they did a really good side. And yeah, they've been showing a bit of signs of fatigue, but I still thought that Bolton would win. They did, but right at the end of the game, 90 plus 2 was it, did I say? So this Wigan performance there was actually quite good. Charlton 2-1 defeat. Yeah, that's another one we can probably accept. Cambridge 1-0 win at home. You would have away. No, it was at home. 1-0 win at home to Cambridge. Yeah, I would have expected them to have done a little bit better against a poor Cambridge side. So I think that it's who they've been playing, really. Most of those are sort of middle top teams for Wigan to be playing. I think it's going to be quite an interesting game. I think that sending off's going to be, to me, is going to be, it shows a little bit of a sense of panic, and yeah, we want to be trying to show that we can do something here. With 44 points, is not out of the relegation battle, not yet. They need to have one more, and it's almost like some of the players are panicking now, and I just think that those wry tackles and wry headers and things tend to come in when people start panicking and thinking, we just need this damn 1 3-pointer and we're safe, and that's what they're thinking. We need 6 points to be really safe. 3 points maybe just about clinches it at this point, but the teams below them are starting to play well, one or two of them, aren't they? So panic seems to be setting in with the Wigan players, I think, rather than anything else. I don't think they're playing badly. I think they're just a couple of right tackles, a couple of panicked passes, and that's what seems to be happening with the Wigan fans. Wigan play to me. Please do tell me if you see that as well. So it's quite a difficult one. I think Leyton Orient will have this one. It's a case to me, will Wigan score? They have the capabilities of scoring. I just don't see them doing it here. They're looking at the last two aways. Charlton 2-1 defeat, Mansfield 0-0 draw away. I just think that Leyton Orient will have this. They've had a little bit of a blip, and they started doing well again, and I think those 2 wins in a row really have given them a little bit of impetus. Although Burton, that was a blip, wasn't it? Will it be another blip for both sides? If it's a blip for both sides, then I think it's going to be a 0-0 bore draw. I'm going to go with Leyton Orient 2, Wigan 0. I don't know why. This could be any score at all. I think it'll be a low scoring one, 2 goals at most, but I can't see where that's going to go. Burton, we're going to Peterborough versus Northampton next, and Peterborough are in 14th. They're as good as they're on 48 points. Get above 50, they're safe. Can't see them being any other than that. Northampton are in 19th. They're on 43 points. They need desperately to get points to keep them away from the likes of Bristol Rovers and Burton and Crawley, Crawley be doing absolutely great football recently, believe it or not. Peterborough, draw, win, lose, win. They're getting better, aren't they? They have started in the last 4 or 5, 6 games to start to show that they can actually play some good football. Northampton, draw, win, draw, lose, draw, lose. They just hit Rotherham at the wrong time, didn't they? We were doing hopeless, and then we realised we get rid of Evans and realised that he's not been taking them on any more than select short 15-minute training sessions, and not doing any free kick training. And we suddenly get someone in who's a good fitness freak and can train them up in all these different things in 2 days, and he's done a damn good job. Well on him. But Northampton just happened to players at the wrong time. But they have actually started getting a few points more than what they were doing. They've got in the doldrums a bit, and they just weren't playing great football. They weren't improving. The teams around them were improving. That's the point I think I want to make. And it looked worse because the other teams were improving their performances, who were around them. But here you've got a Peterborough side that's improving a lot better, and I think the trajectory, performance-wise, of Peterborough is a lot more. Look at the last 2 games. Northampton lost 2-0 at home to Rotherham. Peterborough won 4-3 against Crawley, and I've just said Crawley are playing some damn good football, but Peterborough managed to beat this side 4-3, and they can score. 2 games ago, 3-0 against Charlton, and Charlton are damn good. So I think that Peterborough are starting to put the ball in the net and play some really classy football, and follow the game plan, which is really important. And that's where I say they're following the game plan and absolutely getting it spot on. I think it's going to be something quite high here. I think it's going to be 3 or 4. Let's go Peterborough 3, Northampton 1. I'm going to give them 1. It could be 0, but I'm going to go with 3-1. I'm going to get out of that one because that's good. It's going to be a high score, I think. Rotherham United versus Blackpool now. He's going to actually have had a full week of being able to train these guys up on train these guys up. They weren't being trained under Evans, apparently. So, hey, this is going to be good viewing, I think. Rotherham United, let's have a look. Win, lose, draw, lose, win. dire performances recently, and and just turn. We just have to look at the new manager bounced midweek 2-0 against Northampton. We'll forget all the others because the players are actually getting trained now on the training pitch. For once, Blackpool not as good away from home. Remember, win, win, lose, win, win, win. I'm just looking at those wins. Only one of those wins only one. Two of those wins were away. Northampton and Barnsley. So yeah, they can do some good work away from home of recent. The last time they lost was 4 games ago. Leyton Orient 2-1 at home, which again, that's a strange one. At home, they're usually better than they are away. Have they started to really pull some good performances up away from home as well? And the answer is yes. However, Rotherham, I think, have a really good side. It's just they've not been trained up. They've not been taught to play in a position in positions that they're used to and that they're wanting to play in. I can't see Rotherham winning this one, and I don't really think that Rotherham fans will be too upset as long as they get a good performance. It's the manner of the defeats that really annoy and upset the Rotherham fans. However, I actually don't think that Blackpool will be given an easy job here. I'm actually going to go for Rotherham 2, Blackpool 2. I think that Rotherham will have just enough to hold them off. They've certainly been working on defence. I know they have because he's been on the local news talking about it. Shrewsbury versus Cambridge next, and Shrewsbury Town are, at the minute, rooted to the bottom, 29 points, 24th position. They're going down. Cambridge, 32 points, 10 points away from safety, with 6 games to go. It's not really going to happen, is it? So it's a bottom 2 playing each other just for pride, I think, really. Let's see let's just have a look at the draws first of all. Cambridge 11 draws, Shrewsbury Town 8. Not too much difference there. Shrewsbury lose, draw, lose, draw. Let's just look at the last 2 games there. Birmingham 4-1 win, 4-1 defeat away from home at Birmingham, and Shrewsbury 0, Wycombe 0 away from home at Wycombe. Really, really good draw, that one. And they should have let one in, shouldn't they? They were absolutely trounced, but they actually did play some really good defensive work. Only 2 shots at target for Shrewsbury, and none on target. But I tell you what, they did a damn good defensive job on them. That midfield weren't going to get past them, were they? So, can they do a good defensive job against Shrewsbury? Yes, I think they can. And they can take solace that they're unbeaten for 3 games now, Cambridge United. I think that this is one of those games that it's just been just for fun, isn't it? It really is just for fun. I think Cambridge might like to win it just to keep this unbeaten run at the end going. Just for a bit of fun for the fans, just to lighten the tone a little bit, give them some incentive to think it's going to be better next year. I'm going to go with Shrewsbury Town 0, Cambridge 2, and I think that they've just got that edge between in their head, thinking we could make it 4 games without a defeat, 4 games unbeaten. I think it's coming in. Last game, Stevenage versus Crawley next, and Stevenage are they've been a little bit up and down, haven't they? Stevenage at the minute are 13, 49 points, is probably as good as on the beach as you're going to get. Crawley Town are in 22nd. They played absolutely phenomenal against Rotherham. They've thrashed us 4-0. It could have been 7 or 8-0. Absolutely could have been. Their manager said it could have been. Steve Evans said it could have been, but then he says lots of things. But the fans were coming away thinking, yeah, that could have easily been 7 or 8-1. But they could have scored 7 or 8, certainly. And that inability to put really easy chances away, and that's what I mean. It could have been 7 or 8. It was 4. But there were 7 or 8 really clear opportunities for them. Open nets. Can you go and shoot on it at the goal with just the goalkeeper in it? No. It's gonna be saved. Just that little thought there in the back of my head. Stevenage, on the beach. They're not going to go anywhere. I think Stevenage now are just wanting to try and change a few things around. Let's move things around. And knowing that manager is going to want to change things and move people into different positions just to see if it works. Let's see if something works. If it doesn't work, we've not lost anything because we're not going down. We're on the beach. We'll try some things. And I think that's what he'll be doing. That's what he'll be thinking. Will it? Now, it might suddenly work, and you might find that Stevenage run riot because they found something work that they didn't think would work. He will be trying things out. Absolutely certain. Against a Crawley side that have found some way of playing here that's really good. And I think the consistency is with Crawley. Stevenage win, draw, lose, draw, lose. Last time out, lost 3-0 against Stockport County away from home. Crawley Town draw, lose, win, lose. I'm trying to speed up for you, guys. Sorry if I'm stuttering a bit. But in those last 2 games, Crawley have scored 7 goals. Lost 1 and won 1. 7 goals they've scored. Unfortunately, they let 4 in against Peterborough and lost 4-3. But they showed great resilience, didn't they? And I think that's going to be the difference here. I think it's going to be something like Stevenage 1, Crawley 3. That's another 3-1, isn't it? That's amazing. Please do like and subscribe, and I shall see you again for the next instalment of John S. Sports Channel on League One prediction videos. Like and subscribe.